Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. Ask Sumit version 66 or episode 66. Let's welcome Sumit PG. Sumit ji, Namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel. How are you, sir?
𝗤𝚗 Siya Ram, Radhe Radhe sir. All the good and fine by your Ashirwad and Kripa of Lord Mahakal. Namaskaram to and all our brothers and sisters across the world.
Sirji, it's a little risk question, but has Pakistan changed its sleeping partner? They said that they stand with Ummah, they sit with US and sleep with China. Have they changed their partner or what?
Pakistan is commonly referred as, Hira Mandi. There was a movie made Hira Mandi. What was the theme? So in Hira Mandi, anybody who pays the money gets the service. That's exactly what Pakistan is. Anybody can pay the money. If anybody can afford them, they can. Literally, it is exactly the name which fits them. That is what Pakistan is doing. There's a lot of developments which are happening. Honestly, sir, if I look at geopolitics nowadays, I think the things change in every 4 hours. If I look at our national politics, there's hardly much changing. That is where things are. It used to be the other way around. National politics used to change quite fast, and geopolitics, you might have something change in a month or 2 months, but the things have really turned upside down. Now we'll take the name of Lord Sree Ganesh and do the big and do the Sree Ganesha of the show. Look, there is a big drama. There's a big expose which is happening, right? Pakistan has been literally caught with pants down. Pakistan does not know how to run, where to run, and how to run. Two things happening here. We talked about in the last episode that Lieutenant General Rahul R. Singh, who is our Deputy Chief of the Indian Army, he made some sensational revelations about China being involved, China helping Pakistan, about those vectors being fired, and Pakistan telling us, don't fire this vector. We know you're firing. We request you not to fire this. So, and exactly Pakistan being the lab of the Chinese equipment that we know. So after those exposes that China, Pakistan, Turkey, one border, 3 adversaries, I call them 4. Azerbaijan, I'm not counting Azerbaijan, I'm counting the other 2, which we discussed in the last our show. So problem is that you have kind of whacked and you have defeated them. Now when these things are out in the open, suddenly Chinese are feeling jittery. I've been telling you that the Chinese had a big fight with ISPR, then with Pakistani army, and then with the Pakistani government, saying you are not able to control the narrative. I think during the Operation Sindoor, I told you this. There's a credible source which tells me this happened. Now, after this today's, what is happening, it looks to be quite true, because China is very unhappy because Pakistan has literally tarnished their image, and now the world is saying that the might of India could take on Pakistan, China. I used to always say we have handled 2 nuclear power adversaries together, not one. Pakistan and China together, and also with it, you had this Turkey, and you had one 4th country. It is not Azerbaijan. Let's not kind of kid ourselves. They are not a substantial player in the game. So who the countries is we discussed. Now when these things start coming out and these things start to become public, the world is really looking at Operation Sindoor in a different paradigm. And world is suddenly realizing what the hell happened. You guys have been bragging and talking about something else, but what happened on the ground is something else. You have got whacked. You have got literally screwed, if I may use that word, and you don't have a place to hide. So what did Pakistan start doing? Pakistan started doing 2 things. First of all, when this was all happening in the backdrop and all that, Pakistan also got whacked in BRICS. Well, what happened in BRICS? In a BRICS joint communique, the BRICS countries condemned terror attack in Pakistan, in Pahalgam. Said cross-border terror should not be supported, and the people who are orchestrating this, who are supporting and financing this, should be taken to the task. And BRICS will not only condemn it, BRICS will try its best to stop the terror financing and the abetting of terror which has been done by some countries. So if I look at it, what it is rightly said in diplomacy, if you are not on the table, you are on the menu. That happened to China, because somewhere down the line, even China got roasted in this. Now China is having a serious problem with Xi Jinping. We discussed yesterday a lot of things happening in the economy which are pretty devastating. I think China is at a lowest so far we have seen. Now with all these things happening, she said, they don't know what to do. And the problem of Pakistan is what makes it complex is, one, their iron brother China got whacked. Second is, even in this BRICS formation, there are some Muslim-dominated countries which also support this. Remember, in OIC, your Khalifa and Billah and Pakistan were trying to have a joint front. I think who was there? This Deputy Prime Minister of Pakistan, they were trying to have a joint front and saying, how OIC is with us and we are going to liberate Kashmir and all that. But in BRICS, it was completely bizarre. With these 2 things happening, the fantastic win we had at BRICS, And then these Pakistanis, then the Indian army exposing Pakistan-China nexus, then the Pakistan had to get into a very typical crisis management mode. They didn't know what to do because China would have threatened them. Your 81% of the weapon comes from me. I'm going to stop each and everything. You make a point, and then I'll continue.
Yes. So what I wanted to say was that actually I've forgotten what it is that I wanted to say. It'll come back to me. Yeah, sorry about that. It'll come back to me. I need to make a note of these things. Yeah.
No worries, sir. So then what happened is suddenly we are seeing that failed Field Marshal Asim Munir has got into a firefighting mode. He was addressing some pass out from the college or academy and all. Well, I don't bother to remember which college and which academy. It doesn't matter because everything at the end of the day is a low level or a high level madrasa in Pakistan. So names don't matter, right? It's all the same thing. Now, what happened is he mentioned a couple of things. He said there is no external support from China. No external party helped Pakistan. Pakistan fought this bilateral war. Now, these are the people who are running to the Trump. These are the people who wanted Trump to intervene. These are the people who went to every country in the world and said, look, please save us. Now, Asim Munir goes and says, this was a bilateral war. Nobody helped us. And we never pleaded to India to stop. And let me tell you, the wars are not won on valor. The wars are not won on the wars are not won on media rhetorics and media debates and those imported arsenal. The wars are won on the valor of the men. I think he still hallucinates that he can come on a horseback and with a sword and possibly try to win a war. The problem here is this man is what he had to be doing this, covering the things up because his iron brother China, his Turkey, and the whole axis gets exposed. And they are getting condemned and they are getting whacked at each and every forum. Now, the poor Asim Munir doesn't have an option, but he has to admit he failed. That's why I called him Field Marshal. Now, when both the guys are put in such a situation, so Pakistan went into this, attacking India, trying of calling, names, doing all kinds of things. But the whole moot point is that after this debacle, they had to go and really, really try to save their backside, saying that it was no help from China. But the world knows, everybody knows that the Chinese helped them, Turkey helped them, and we whacked both of them together. Now, even after that, you make a point, I'll come to the point. G.
So I remembered now, yesterday's show on China, 𝗤𝗏 𝗏𝗏, has gone viral. Thank you so much, viewers. I just wanted to tell you it has already crossed 150,000 views. We thought it will, and it did. And please do help us again. Today's program has been off to a little bit of a slow start. Just like it, and it will go to its normal numbers. Back to you.
Okay. Now, what is the proof that China is not a part of this game? What was this fight between ISPR and China? So the fight between ISPR and China was not very happy with ISPR on the way of how they could manage the propaganda, how they could run this whole thing, because China expected them to do a better job. And this time India was very careful. This time India did not reply Pakistan in one sentence. We are giving this piecemeal reply every day, stating one fact, another fact, another fact, another fact. That is how we were kind of doing that's how we are deflating the propaganda. Earlier, we used to have a one reply, then they will counter that and say, no, this is all fact. So they are kind of saying this, we are saying this. Now, literally, their lies are getting called up because they don't know what is our next move. They don't know how are we going to counter it. So, and world over, after sending these delegations after people go across the world, then the world realized we had to win. And let me recollect our guys that, guys, if you remember that our head of military intelligence, Lieutenant General Rana, did a briefing for 76 defense attaches in New Delhi and called them and showed them how we have whacked Pakistan in Operation Sindhu. Now, when this was happening, then our delegations went out. Then we've been covering each and everything. Now, Pakistan doesn't know how to counter that. Now, there's one more thing which resonates to the fact. What is that thing which resonates to the fact? There's an article out, and it's in one of the leading publications. You can have a look. When this whole thing was happening, Pakistan started with the propaganda. We have drawn 5 giraffes. That was a typical they did. And remember the newspaper, Indian newspaper, Hindu, which kind of carried the story, and then everybody started latching on to that. And then the big fiasco started. Now, it is reported by French intelligence. French intelligence reports this formally that when this all was happening, China tried to run a propaganda campaign saying how Chinese weapons are superior than any other weapon. How, with the help of Chinese weapons, how with the help of Chinese weapons, Pakistan could bring down 5 Rafale jets. And this was run everywhere. And even the French intelligence quotes the Associated Press, saying that Associated Press was given this brief that we have really drowned 5 Rafales, and Rafale is not a match in front of Chinese weapons. Chinese weapons are much smarter, much stronger than anybody could have anticipated. And the Chinese tech is somewhere here, which is unbeatable, and which nobody can really beat in this earth. Because China was trying to influence a lot of deals wherein the people were buying some alternate products. They wanted them to buy the Chinese product, telling them the Chinese product is the best, which of course it is not. Now, if you look at the number, there are 533 Rafale jets which have been sold. A lot of them have come to India, UAE, Croatia, I think Greece, and I think there are 5-6 buyers who have a Rafale jet, and they're quite happy with it, and even Indonesia. And they are all thinking of buying more and more Rafales, which we have already done. We have bought a Rafale maritime version, which we're thinking and contemplating of buying more jets. So that's the process. Now, what did Chinese want to do? Chinese wanted to use this operation to malign and bring down the repute of the French arsenal. Whereas if you look at France, the Rafale jets are a state of art, and a lot of French defense industry kind of relishes around that fact that Rafale is an ace jet and is one of the best in the world, which it is. And a lot of defense exports of France, not a lot, but a substantial part is from Rafale, where they are kind of Dassault divisions, where they are exporting these jets across the whole world, and then spares and support. And you will be aware that the MRO of the Rafale is coming up in India. So all the Rafale sold in this part of the world, the MRO will be coming in India. And India is kind of working on technology transfer. They are working on building the fuselage now, wings. Then we are talking of engines. So there's a lot of cooperation happening. And this cooperation is what is irking China, because their equipment has been failing. Now, they try to run this malicious propaganda not only through media and adversaries, even their defense attaches, which were posted in various countries, started calling meetings, started calling people and telling them how in Operation Sindoor, Indian Rafales supplied by Dassault Aviation were badly damaged by the Chinese arsenal. So that all propaganda was made, and they were quoting the newspaper Associated Press, and Associated Press was quoting Hindu and all that. Right. So this is, now if you look, I have been also asking this question, Guptaji. Guptaji brings up an important question. I've been saying that, look, when 115 Chinese spy satellites were looking at us, when Chinese AWACS were looking at us, they were used to tell us in a DGMO meeting, sir, do not use that vector. We know exactly what you're going to use. I have been shouting my lungs out, and for last 2 months, 3 months, I said, show me one image of a wreckage of a Rafale. If the Rafale has failed, where is the wreckage? And when our DGMO air operations clearly said that all the pilots are safe, so where is the question of a Rafale falling? And if it has fallen, where is the wreckage? Nobody has even one picture of a wreckage of a Rafale. When you could even know which vector we are going to file, it is very oxymoronic that you don't know where did a Rafale really fell down. If you have shot down 5, you should have a picture of it. And now everybody has been kind of talking, and talking about it. And eventually Pakistan's lies are now shaping out, falling out flat. Now, China had used this opportunity to hype up. And it is because my weapons given to Pakistan, and because of my weapons, the Rafales were brought down. So, Mr. Country XYZ, if you're thinking of buying a Rafale, don't buy a Rafale. You look for J-20, you look for J-35, all the Chinese crap, what they said, all the Chinese junk, what they said, look for that. That is what the China was trying to do. And now this campaign went for some time. And eventually, as and when the truth started coming down, then everybody realized, hey, these guys are just bluffing. This is not what happened. Now, on the top of that, still there was an ambiguity. Now, China tried to run away. Okay, maybe India is not talking about it. Maybe we didn't help them. Then when Lieutenant General Rahul Singh Saab clearly comes and says that Pakistan and China were working together as a joint venture, after that, there was nothing left to speculation, because now the cat was out of the bag. So all the Chinese claims of drowning 5 jets and their technology superiority, it was all brought down. And I have been maintaining, when Mr. Singh talked about, General Singh talked about that hammer, that silent blow which India was about to give to the Pakistan. We have discussed about that. I can take 2 minutes to explain you if some of you have missed that thing. There was something which India was planning. And when Pakistanis came to know that from Chinese, Pakistanis immediately started pleading and begging for mercy. Kindly save us, kindly help us. We cannot take you on anymore. And what does Asim Munir say? Asim Munir says Pakistan never asked for ceasefire. We never pleaded. We never did anything. If you never asked for the ceasefire, why were you nominating President Trump for the Nobel Prize? Then what is the role of President Trump? Did President Trump get a telepathy and he started dialing India or whatever? though it never happened. But even if I take your version, you're contradicting yourself because your fundamental positions are changing. That is what you do. Now, with such a situation, Pakistanis have not lost only their image, their army has not lost image, Chinese equipment, Chinese army, and Turkish army and Turkish equipment has lost space, because remember, the generals have clearly said it is man and the machine. That means there were also Chinese and Turkish operators who were working in Pakistan, actively helping them to kind of work against us. Now, I will be happy to inform you about one thing. A lot of you have been telling me, and I have been demanding this through PGurus channel and various other platforms I do, including TV. I've been handfolding to the government of India and requesting them, sir, kindly allocate $30 billion to army for a immediate capex buy. And I'm happy to inform you that I think Saturday, Sunday, yesterday was Sunday, maybe Saturday or Sunday, it was a beautiful news I brought. Defense DAC, Defense Acquisition Commission, is the AS body of government of India. Another under EP20. EP20 is a special provision within the government. Government is going on a shopping, 1 trillion rupees, 40,000 crores, more than $5 billion of capex buy for the armies approved. And what does it happen? It doesn't go through normal tender process, CAG, audit, and vigilance and all that. The commanders can decide what do they want, and it's for Air Force, Navy, and Army. Any order up to 300 crores. You can straight away cut a PO. The time of cutting a PO and finalizing is 40 days, and the time to deliver the system is less than 1 year. What are we buying? We are buying these drones, we are buying spy planes, we are buying minesweepers, and there's something. There are two other items. One other main item which skipped my mind, which we are buying. So this is happening. So for the first time under the Modi government, $5 billion on the table. Go and buy what do you want to do. Thank you very much. Still 25 billion to go. That's a different question. So that is what is happening. When these all things are happening, that because you do, what did Rahul sir said? General Rahul said that, it's a cat and mouse game. If they were here, we were here. But eventually next time they will come here. We have to be here. So we have to advance our systems, and a lot of emphasis was on the drones. That is what the whole point of discussion was. Now this time, this kind of a buy, approximately 1 trillion rupees of more than 40,000 crores, has not happened in the history of India. This is another achievement of Modi government, where Modi government is trusting the generals, where Modi government is trusting the people in the uniform to make the best decision in the interest of the country. No CAG, no audit, no 𝗍𝗓𝗏, kuch nahi hai. You decide what you want to buy, cut an order the equipment and come in, and all get the private sector in. And private sector, if you want to get the foreign collaborators or foreign, you want to do a back and tie-up, go and do it. But we want this equipment to be delivered ASAP. Maximum time is 1 year. So which also indicates that we are looking for a Operation Sindoor Part 2 somewhere down the line. And remember, this time they would be targeting our Indian cities. And what did Asim Munir say? We never targeted the Indian cities. The correlator too. Munir says we never targeted the Indian cities. So that means next time they are possibly going to target the Indian cities. But after this shame, and after the three things happening, you got whacked in BRICS, your China got exposed, French intelligence is after you life, and they have said that China is not doing fine. Though the Chinese reply, we don't do these under belt hitting below the belt and all that. Well, then you know what China is. And then this India armies, this $5 billion defense push, on very strategic weapons. And in the long run, it has going to be Atmanirbhar. It is going to be made in India. It is going to be our own platforms, and even we have to take it to the next level, which I will be contemplating with and discussing you within a couple of days. What should be the next level of this? But this is what is happening. When you look at all the three sides, this Pakistan-China nexus is shaking. There's a lot of political turmoil in China. We don't know where she is. There are a lot of things which are happening in China. China is in a terrible shape. Pakistan's politicians are literally missing, and Mullah Munir, or the failed field marshal, is calling the shots. So he is the person who went to defend it. Why? He would have ideally asked a Pakistani politician to defend it. You know why? Because everybody understands now in Pakistan, the only person who matters is the failed Mullah, field marshal Munir. So he has to only come and defend it, because the Chinese are not happy, French are not happy, India is not happy, America is not happy, and more the nexus is opening up. How did India defend itself against so many adversaries? More and more respect for India is going up. And in BRICS, even the Islamic countries are supporting India. So these people don't know how to do it. They tried to pull a quick one in SCO. It didn't happen. And we were very clear. We called the double standards vis-a-vis terror. And even in the BRICS, we clearly said that we do not accept these double standards vis-a-vis terror. If you want to do this terror and all that, we are not with it. This is what we want. This is what you have to sign. And you sign it, it's okay. If you don't want to sign it, we are completely out of it. We don't matter. It doesn't matter us too much. So this is what happened. This is why Pakistan is getting rattled. And even I see if the Xi Jinping goes, which looks to be the case, then even this nexus between China and Pakistan ultimately will not survive. Because I've been telling you one thing, a lot of people in China are questioning why the hell are we kind of taming this Pakistan? What is Pakistan going to do us? Pakistan is a sinkhole where we have lost hundreds of billions of dollars. And what the hell could 𝗟𝗡𝗏 deliver for you? I've been telling you, Chinese, he cannot deliver shit. He's incompetent. If you put hundreds of millions of dollars on somebody else, he might be able to deliver something, but this man could deliver nothing to you. And he has killed your military industry for good. And Chinese, guys, more than after Pakistan is lost as a customer, you have to close the shop of your military industry, because 81% of the weapons are going to whatever you produce to Pakistan. Your PLA doesn't trust your weapons. You still buy Russian weapons, and your weapons buyer is only Pakistan is gone. Bangladesh is a matter of time will go. And your ideas of joining CPEC and BRI and all, let me tell you, they are not going to work, because yesterday you got whacked. There was a big BLA attack on the tri-junction, where this what you call the CPEC and all are kind of meeting. So that I forget the name. Tokaram or something is the name. I may not have the name right. So this is a tri-junction where the CPEC, where the CPEC connects to the rest of Pakistan. That was taken by BLA. That was kind of that was taken by BLA, and that was kind of controlled by these people. And now you don't know what is happening. So even if you try to work against India's interest, we as India know how to hit you back and where to hit you back. It's not saying what happened there, we did, but saying whatever happens is by God's grace. Somebody up in the skies decides what to happen, and something happens. So this is how we're going to handle it. And this is where the reality is. That is why Pakistan is kind of really, going crazy. Now, second part of the discussion we're going to talk about is why is Turkey in trouble? It's a very interesting part. And it's a very, very interesting part. Why? Because that Turkish company, Celebi, they were into this airport cargo management. They got a notice from our digital, our aviation authority, saying that your license has been cancelled because you are violating because we are seeing that your presence on the airports is a national security threat, and because of that we are kind of cutting you off the airports, and it's a national security threat is the reason what we find why we are cutting you from the airports. That is what we told them. Now the same company, as you are aware, they went to the court, and the court the lower court gave a stay. That means no, this cannot be done. This order of government unilaterally, what they said allegedly, unilaterally converting or unilaterally, what do I say? Cancelling your license is not something which is accepted by the law, and we will not be happy with it. That is what the court had given a rulings. Fair enough. Then the case went to the High Court. And Mr. Mukul Rohtagi, who was representing the Turkish company, and our additional Solicitor General, I think I can't remember the name. I skipped my mind. He was the person who was representing us in the case. Now, what happened today is the Honorable High Court has given a verdict wherein the Honorable Justice says, I am with the government. When it comes to the national security, nothing is questionable. Mr. Rohtagi puts, I think Gopal Subramaniam is the Solicitor General. I'm not sure about the name. Mr. Rohtagi puts a point, the opposition lawyer. He says, look, this company was given not a proper notice, because the rule says, as per Article 19, because this country's justice system works on natural justice. So as per Article 19, if you find there's a violation, you have to call the party, you have to tell them, you have to give them an opportunity to present, and within 1 year or so, if they are not able to come up with a reasonable logic and all, you have the right to cancel the license. Now, in this case, the party, that is the Turkish company, was not given that notice. So it was a unilateral decision taken by the Aviation Authority, and Aviation Authority is not in a position as per the Indian law to take a decision like this. And me lords, the company has been doing this for 15 years. So how did this company overnight become a national security threat? That is the argument Mr. Mukul Rohtagi has put in front of the honorable courts. Now, why I'm telling you all this? Because there's a very important line here. Because for the first time, I am seeing our courts taking a giant step, very big step, and compliments to the Honorable Justice, I think Justice Datta, and the High Court of India. Why? Because the justice said, look, you're right, what are you saying? But this is a privilege, not an entitlement, first of all. This is a privilege which you get. You're not entitled. You can't demand. This is a privilege. It's not an entitlement. Second thing, when it comes to the national security of the country, we cannot question government. Why, when, how, and where. I will not even ask government to give me, that is the quote, reasons for doing it, or give party the reasons for doing it, because it's the national security. What if our country is based on the system of natural justice? Let it be. But when it comes to national security, we are not interested in national justice. We are not bothered about national justice because national security is not debatable, cannot be brought into the courts. We cannot force government to give a notification. We cannot even ask the government of India to tell us why do they think that it is important. It is the responsibility of the executive to decide this, not judiciary to validate the decision of the executive. This is a landmark judgment. Take my word on this. Because here the law of natural justice is kept side by. They are saying we will not interfere in some things, which I always said that the Honorable Court should not, with folded hands have been requesting, should not interfere in the national security issues. Let the executive of the country, that is elected government of the country, decide what is right, what is wrong, and even national security issues should not be discussed and deliberated. We cannot come and tell that Turkish company what is wrong with you and what are feeling wrong, because the Honorable Justice says even if we tell them, this will go to the adversaries. Let's say whatever our apprehensions, we say, oh, we think you have a director who has relations with 𝗣𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗏, whatever, XYZ. I'm just creating a scenario. Well, if when we tell them, what will happen is that the things will go to the adversary. They will exactly know what the hell are we thinking. And we as a country cannot afford that. So forget the national justice. When it comes to national security, whatever the government says, that is the final word. No need, no clarification, no ifs and buts and whats. So the decision is in the favor of the government. A lot of you will be happy, because a lot of you have been asking, why did the courts do that? Why did the courts? I said, wait, there is justice is maybe delayed, but not denied. It happens. So the Honorable Court did a very, very smart judgment, and it's a landmark judgment. I'm very sure they will go to the Supreme Court. And as far as Supreme Court should not give them any respite, they cited a lot of reasons. Look, we are employing more than 10,000 people. Oh, jobs would be lost. Around 3,700 jobs would be lost. This much loss and that. I mean, why do Turkish people think we don't have a company which can do it? Why do Turkish people think no Indian company can employ them? Why do Turkish people think a company like a Tata or a L&T or for example, XYZ, anybody cannot do it? Why does a Turkish company see one of you who's watching this program might be a businessman with a few thousand crores of turnover? Why can't your company do it? What makes Turkish company think that they are so above the line? But now Bharat is hitting you, because if you go and side with your enemy, if you go and sleep with your enemy, if your 𝗣𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗏 decides to give weapons to kill our men in uniform, remember you guys even tried to send a missile to Golden Temple. We intercepted that in Sirsa. Even if you go so low, so what do you expect us to do? Do you think you can use our systems and our courts to work against you? Well, that's not going to happen, because national security and national interest is supreme. This is a big, big setback to not only to Turkey, but also to the cabal who could think they could manipulate the Indian system. There are 2-3 things important. Article 19, yes. First of all, you are not an Indian company. Article 19, yes. It's a privilege, not an entitlement. When it comes to national security, no questions asked. Judiciary is not going to overrule the executive. Whatever executive has decided is done and dusted. We'll not even tell them कि बंद लिफाफे में दो. We'll not ask them what is in there. We don't want to know what is in there, because that is not our job. And sorry, if your government has decided to work with the enemy, you have to pay the price for it. Go and complain to 𝗣𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗏 and his 𝗵𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗏 and their fan following here. And those Bollywood actors who have a very good relation with his wife, maybe you can reach to him, the person in discussion. Maybe he can tell you what went wrong. So this is what is happening here. I see it as a big judgment wherein at least the things are going into the right direction, wherein judiciary has done exactly what they should be doing, and we appreciate this gesture of judiciary, and we hope that in the Honorable Supreme Court, I know they are going to go there, it's a matter of time, Honorable Supreme Court should hold the same line, and for good, once this case's decision is given, let everybody bloody know, if you mess around with India, if your government or if your back home country decides to mess around with India, you will also lose business and you will lose all the goodwill here. And let me tell you, Mr. Turkish company, whatever your name is, Celebi or whatever, there are Indian companies who are fully competent to do this business. We respect what you have done, but if you think you're indispensable and no Indian company can employ people, no, you're absolutely wrong. That is not the case. Let me remind you, Indian Railways is the biggest employer in the whole world. So we have companies who are the biggest employers in the whole world, and there we know how to employ a few thousand people. Don't bloody government tell us that if you can get us out of the business, 3,721 people will get out of work. No, we can employ them tomorrow morning. And there are companies who can pay them, keep them on the payroll for next 6 months, and after the work will start. We have that much of Indian companies. Don't think India is so weak and meek and so small that if you go out of the picture, hum bhookhe mar jayenge. We will be starving and hungry. No, those days are gone. That is the message I wanted to send. So you wanted to make a point. Sir, aap mute pe.
Couple of things. Mukul Rohatgi was actually India's Attorney General. Jaitley appointed him. Although Jaitley was not law minister, he had enough influence to appoint him as Attorney General. And this fellow has done all sorts of funny things. I mean, you got to have some scruples, I would think. First one. Second thing is, you're talking about company like 𝗟𝗏. Now, there are many such companies. Why is, 𝗟𝗏 is out, right? But what I'm hearing is that Tata's equivalent of 𝗟𝗏 is actually hiring people from 𝗟𝗏. Okay, these are all Indian nationals, Indian citizens, Indian patriots, fine. Just make sure that their records are fine, because you need to finish your investigation on AI 171. There is some hanky-panky there. I can't believe. Another interesting angle that has come out. Viewers, listen carefully. I have a series on currency. Episode 3, 4, and 5 will come every alternate day. First one will come probably tomorrow. Third one will come tomorrow. People are saying the one lone survivor of AI 171 might not have been on the plane at all. That is this new story that's coming out. I don't know.
Wow.
So it's shocking when you hear something like that. Anyway, you will hear. See, I was shocked because Tom Luongo, my guest, said this. Just pay close attention to what he says. Okay, go back to our next topic.
Sure. Now, this is a landmark judgment, so I compliment the government of India, the Honorable Court, and the Solicitor General of India who was representing us. Sorry, sir, your name skipped my mind. I don't want to take the wrong name, so that's why I'm not taking the wrong name. But I wanted to bring in Mr. Mukul Rohatgi's name because though as a lawyer, he's entitled to do what he's doing, but at a conscious level, I don't know. I leave it to his wise discretion and the discretion of the people of India. Should you be doing this? Should you be kind of helping these companies to be in business when you know they're a national security threat, when the government of India is working hard to throw them out? These companies should not get a lawyer in India. But my problem is, amidst all this, they still manage to get lawyers. Though Mr. Rohatgi is within the legal rights and all to defend the case, no problem on that. But it's only a matter of conscience. I'm asking from that perspective. So I rest my case there. So let me go to the new thing. Now, I think we have kind of covered this in the discussion, why BRICS was a big win.
Last one, Elon versus Trump escalation. Yeah. Just cover two more minutes on this, and then we move to the last one. Now, this was a good, interesting thing. We had a good, and let me tell you, in our meetings with Brazil, there are 5 or 7 MOUs we are discussing. One is LNG, one is petroleum, one is space. There's a FTA which is pending. We're trying to push that. Second is agri-tech, and there is one more which is skipping my mind. And after that, we are having bilaterals with South Africa. Also, there are 6 MOUs which are in discussion there. One of them is education, and it should be a good visit of Prime Minister Modi overall, if you look at what we have got. And don't forget one thing. If you talk about Trinidad, if you talk of any, Trinidad might be a very small country, or Ghana might be a very small country. And we have done a lot of MOUs, by the way, with Argentina also. And I don't know how to tell you, I should be happy or unhappy, but I'm happy because it is after 57 years, one Indian Prime Minister has visited Argentina. Argentina is an important country. We have a lot of things there. Argentina is the part of the what you call as a lithium triangle. There's a lot of lithium in Argentina, and it took us 57 years to go there. It's only under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi we went there. And if you look at all these visits, there's something we are getting from everywhere. And remember, a country like Trinidad may be very small, but even in the United Nations, there's a vote. One vote always matters. A country might be big or small, vote ek hai. That vote always matters. So this is always, we should have something in mind. And Argentina, after 57 years, do you really believe this? This is true. But anyway, so there are a lot of good things which India is doing. I appreciate, and there are some things which I'm not kind of very comfortable with. I raise my opinion on that, and I'm very candid on that.
So after that, let's move to the next thing. BRICS was a win for India because we managed to hit two birds with one stone. One is Pakistan and one is China. So that makes me very, very happy. You know, my nature. I'm very happy when our enemies get hit and whacked and humiliated. Next is Elon versus Trump. Look, Elon floated the party, he called it the American Party. There was a talk that three big boys of the American politics are going to join. I've been tracking that, but I didn't see any names so far. So Trump is very fuming, and Trump says this idea of Elon is ridiculous. He's trying to create the confusion and dissonance. Is exactly what I've been telling you. He's trying to create confusion and dissonance because America runs on this two-party system here and here. You know, Republicans and Democrats. Okay, Democrats are out, Republicans are in. Maybe after 10 years, 5 years, you know, these guys go out, Republicans go out, and Democrats come in. Because at the end of the day, politics is driven by the people. If you have good leaders, any party can be good or bad. But if you have bad leaders, any good party can become bad, and bad party can become good. Now, the problem here is that there are talks of that Trump might deport Elon, but the challenge is, even if you are able to deport him, then he will cut immediately your access to all his satellites. Now your Dragon, that spaceship which takes the astronauts to the International Space Station, NASA doesn't have it. You depend on Elon's spaceship to do it. So there are a couple of things, and there this ESPN files, Dragon. So the things are going here and there, and and he's talking of cutting his EV mandate. He's talking of cutting his SpaceX contracts. By the way, the Tesla shares again fell by 7% today. Just a few hours back, I was looking at it, fell by 7% today. So things are not looking good. Elon is losing European market at an alarming rate to China, which is not good because ideally I would want Elon to have that market rather than China having that market. And thirdly, Trump makes a very compelling point. He says, what happened to you, Mr. Elon Musk? You said you are leaving politics and trying to concentrate on your business. Now, if you are trying to form a political party and trying to become the ringleader of the world, you're trying to become the de facto remote control horror of the world, that you will make an American president and you make him dance to his tunes. So is this what your intentions are, and this is what you want to do? So this kind of a thing is kind of shaping up. My analysis, my hypothesis on this. So Elon doing it on its own, very less probability. Pushed by China, stronger possibility. Is the American tech billionaires trying to take over the American political system? Strong possibility. Is the American tech billionaires and deep state getting together and trying to form a new kind of alliance wherein they put in the third party and disrupt the apple cart? It's quite a possibility. Or is this Elon Musk getting very, very ambitious that he believes he has a lot of wealth in the world, a lot of wealth in the world? Now let him not be the president. Let him be the person who can make or break presidents of the United States of America or elsewhere. Because if this is a trend which holds on, this is going to be a very, very dangerous trend, because if it works in America, trust me, it will be replicated everywhere in the world. And then the days are not too far. Even it might be replicated in India, it might be replicated elsewhere in the world. So democracies are facing a new threat, in my assessment. If some capitalists with a lot of money go rogue, and they really want to go after the elected governments, democracy gives them the space and the tools to be the disruptor. So will this happen? Will Elon be able to get his way through? What will this American party do for the people who are going to join it? I hope Obama and Clintons and all don't join it. There's a possibility. I'm not saying they will, but there's a remote possibility they might join it. Maybe a couple of other tech billionaires join the party. So will the countries be run by leaders or the businessmen? That's the question or the call the countries have to take. And I don't see it as a very happy trend. I am seeing this man bulldozing his way through the power corridors while his business is depleting and dying. It is still pretty strong, but it's depleting and dying, and he doesn't seem to be bothered about the business at all. So what are the agendas? Who's running it? If I'm a normal businessman, I won't be getting into this, because I will either run my business or be in politics. So if you want to do both things, but my submission is very clear: you can't do both. You have to either do this or do this. Because for Elon, the biggest market or the biggest money-making machine is China, and for the America, the biggest national security threat is China. So, Mr. Musk, what do you want to? You want to be a businessman who kind of sleeps with the enemy and talks nationalism in the day. I mean, this is what the kind of business you want to run. Your interests are in China. Your wealth comes from China, who's the biggest threat to the American nation. And you want to come up with a party which will liberate America from Republicans and Democrats, because they're all corrupt and they're all sellouts, according to you. And because you have a very good relation and wealth-making business in China, so you will just let your new party will say, no, China is nothing. So all these new type of so would you be getting all votes, this globist, globalists and all these together and form a new plan where they will say, let's ignore all them, let's not talk about all them, let's do whatever we want to do. So it's like running with the hare and hunting with the hounds. You can't be a nationalist in the day and sleeping in the night with the most dreaded country of enemy of your country. So these are some of the very difficult paradigms which are coming in the world politics, and there are some very, very disturbing things which are happening. And by the way, let me take this opportunity to tell you, Israelis have hit Yemen today, and 3 major ports, Hadibi, Area Sera, Sartilia, and there's a power strip commerce, 𝗣𝗽𝗏𝗏, that has been hit by Israelis, and Israelis have started paying back for the what Houthis did yesterday. Houthis tried to find a couple of missiles to Israel, but they never reached Israel. They got intercepted. So Middle East has started simmering again and again and again and again. Let's hope that it is controlled. Yesterday, they used something called as drone boats to hit a Greek ship, and the Greek ship was carrying fertilizer to Israel, I believe. The Greek ship had a private company protecting him. They tried to take on the Houthis, but they were not able to. There was a fire exchange. It happened ultimately 2 drone boats, 2 boats unmanned, with those explosives hit the ship. Ship caught the fire, and I think by now the ship is already below the sea. So Red Sea is escalating. Now the question is, you'll ask me, why the hell you're 𝗠𝗦𝗏 bothered? How does it matter to us? 20% of the world's cargo passes through that. How does it matter to Bharat? $200 million of trade, 200 billion, sorry, I'm not Pakistan, sorry. India is always billions. $200 billion of trade passes through that. That is why I am concerned. That is why I track the news. That is why I'm bothered. $200 billion of trade pass through that. So this is what I have to tell you.
Red Sea is Suez Canal.
Yeah, exactly. Red Sea, Suez Canal. 200 billion ka trade hai, sir. $200 billion of trade passes through that. And this Iran is back to business. And when yesterday they were missing at BRICS, I was wondering why the hell are they missing? Now I know all the games have been. There's a Hezbollah angle. There's a lot of angles. It's a different. It can be a different show altogether. But I just wanted to briefly touch point of these. So Iran is back to its tactics. They are back to what they have been doing, what they are good at. They've been trying to kind of regenerate a lot of forces and all. So let's see. My opinion: Middle East is simmering. It will erupt again. And it all started after China said, I have $400 billion of interest in Middle East. They kind of said we are supporting behind Iran. And after that, within 24 hours or 48 hours, you see these attacks happening. By the way, we talked on PGurus on that, if you remember. So by the way, after 24 or 40 hours of that, Iran decides to skip BRICS. Last year, Iran was begging and pleading, make me a member of BRICS. Now this time, they did not only skip, they didn't even send a small delegation. They didn't even send 2 men to BRICS. They snubbed BRICS. And what they were planning, they were primarily planning to activate Hezbollah. They were planning to activate Red Sea. They were thinking of blocking the Strait of Hormuz. All the funny things what Iran is typically known for, they are doing. And by the way, Khamenei surfaced yesterday or day before yesterday. He's still live and kicking, to all my misery. Joking on the lighter note. So he's live and kicking. And they have issued a warning. If Khamenei will be eliminated, we'll have missiles going into the United States of America. So if I look at Trump, there's a lot of things on his plate. I don't know how much can he do, how much can he manage, and where he's going to hit, where he's not going to hit. It will be interesting to watch. That is basically what we can put in these 40-45 minutes right now. I would love to talk more and more to you, but the problem is that the clock is ticking and it's asked Sumit a lot of questions to answer. I'll just stop here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sumit. Let's go to questions now.
Yeah.
Bobji wants to know, Sreeji, a few years ago, there was a website that was my source for web series. Now you have become my source. Thank you. Your suggestions are good. Keep up the excellent work. Thank you so much. Bobji, again, you hate cricket, both of us, that means. But can you deny the fact that it is the biggest unifier on this land? My son, even when he was 6 years, wanted Bharat to win. Doesn't the game inculcate patriotism?
I think, Bobji, you are right on a conceptual note. Yes, it is a unifier. It is a patriotism and so on. But let's put the money on the right set of people, right? Let's not put the money on the people who are there for their selfish gains. And I don't want to get into the dirty linen of cricket. You have to read Sree Iyer's books, which explain a lot of the nefarious connections which allegedly they have with a lot of people in the world. So unifier part is fine, but on whom? Whom are we betting the money? That is a big thing. Let's celebrate our Indian Army. If you want to really celebrate something, celebrate Indian Army. No questions asked. Nobody will raise a doubt even in 1,000 years. Celebrate Indian Army. Tell your son that Operation Sindoor is the way to be. Tell your all the youth that the people who are wearing the uniform, they are the real heroes, not these Bollywood or the Pathan wearing that ponytail and that date. I call him 𝗏𝗡𝗙𝗏 and trying and that Buddha tiger and all those crazy people. So let's have our ideals who are real. Let's have ideals who really play with their sweat and blood and defend this country, love, respect, and admire Indian Army. Let them be the heroes. I have no problem. Let every youth of the country salute the man in uniform. That is the way to be, sir.
𝗏𝗍𝗐, one last thought. Remember the 𝗤𝗏𝗏, that is, India won for the first time in Gabba in Brisbane. And this time they have won for the first time in Edgbaston. Go back and look at the heroes. In both these cases, these are young kids who have been given the chance to play at the highest level and they shone through. Then why is it that we keep harping on, this guy, that guy? One guy, he's got talent. Let him play for 30 tests. He keep on failing 100, everything is okay. But there is another player who's very good, but if he doesn't perform well in one test, immediately dropped. We have a very, emotional backlash going back and forth, and we need to take care of that. Even today, I'm so concerned, 3 of the pacers in this current group haven't got their act together. Whether it is the what's his name? I'm trying to remember the Mumbai player, that guy, or Prasidh Krishna, or Nitish Reddy. All 3 of them as bowlers have been totally useless. You have only 3 players now, 3 fast bowlers who are actually pulling their weight: 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, Bumrah, and Mohammad Siraj. So you have 3 more tests to go. What is your bench strength? There are some concerns here. If one of them gets injured, then again you are going to go back to look at what happened to players like Kamlesh Nagarkoti or Shivam Mavi or Shubham Mavi. I don't remember the exact name. These were the talents unearthed by Rahul Dravid at the under 19 level. Express fast bowlers. Australian batsmen were running away from the wicket. They were that fast. That one semi-final you should see, Sumiji, under 19 semi-final. Some of those players are now playing Australia Test 11 now. The guys were scared of the pace at which these people were bowling. What happened to those 2 players? I see them once in a while in IPL and then gone. So somewhere there is still introspection needed. Play the young players in test level, see how well they do. Then you let them into IPL to make money.
I believe, sir, when the goodwill or repute is lost, it's lost for good. After what the allegations on Mohammad Azharuddin and whatever happened, after that, when I was a kid, you would get up in the 5 a.m. in the morning, in a chilling winter when the snow outside, you will get up in 5 and you will watch that Vance and Trump Cup, 4:30 a.m. That was the craze. But after that Mohammad Azharuddin incident, I stopped watching it. After that, I said, it's all, they're just trying to play with your emotions and making a fool around you. Let's just call it a day. It takes you years to build. It's like a building. Reputation is like a building. It takes you years to build. But with the right kind of explosive, you can bring it down in 5 minutes. So if the goodwill is lost, if the credibility of the game is lost, I don't want to waste my time. Even I don't know, honestly, swear to God, sir. The names you are taking, I don't know. I'm not interested to know. I don't bother. I don't want to waste my time. I will really track some global news. I'll track Indian Army. I'll track how Indian Army is going to do, what Hezbollah is going to do next, because they're real things. I mean, I can't chase this man of fiction.
Next one, please. Thank you, Vasant Kumar, for becoming YouTube member. Magnet Rangaji wants to know, Namaste, world knows about China Park Nexus, yet Pakistan seems to be getting away. Only Bharat is most hurt by this. Given that they aren't happy with Bharat's progress, will the world care?
World will care when Bharat will start becoming more and more powerful, when the world's economy will be more and more depending on Bharat, when your supply chains will determine the global supply chains, and when your manpower will be running a lot of things, and when your diaspora will be becoming strong, and when your IPR will be controlling the world's IPR, that is when the world starts bothering about you, Ranga sir. Today it may not, but look at 10 years back. It would not even look at you. They will tell you this is not our problem. There's a freedom struggle. At least from freedom struggle, they are acknowledging terror. You cross 5 trillion, world starts getting attentive. You cost 10 trillion, sir. You write the rules of the game.
Magnet Ji, did you know that Pakistan is now the head of the non-permanent member council of the UN Security Council? And in the vote, only 3 countries voted against Pakistan. You want to name? One is, of course, India. Second is, again, our all-weather partner, Israel. Do you want to know what the third country is? Do you know? Do you know, Sumiji?
Nah.
It is not US. It is not UK. It is none of the Western countries. It's Armenia. I mean, this is the kind of look. The West is rattled a little bit also by the success that India has enjoyed. It's not easy standing up to not two, not 3, but perhaps 4 adversaries all at once arrayed against you. Basically, India is showing that it can be the next Israel. That
yes,
मामा भांजे एक तरफ, सारी दुनिया एक तरफ type of stuff.
हम एक तरफ, मतलब हम जहाँ खड़े होते हैं लाइन वहां से शुरू होती है. I'm repeating. हम जहाँ खड़े होते हैं लाइन वहां से शुरू होती है.
Next one, please. Soham Parida wants to know, our Air Force generals voluntarily disclosed downing of fighters. They just this was amplified by Chinese. Your views, please. Not only that, Rahul Gandhi's 𝗟𝗡𝗞𝗏 comments were also played up by Pakistan. It's the same joke.
None of our Air Force generals in duty has ever said their affairs were drowned. I think some remarks are made by only the CDSR. And what matters at the end of the day is people who are at the helm of affairs. They have the official right to say something. If I'm retired or I'm not in the duty, I can have an opinion. But my word is not the official word, right? At the end of the day, the person who's wearing the uniform is where the official word is. I can have an opinion, you can have an opinion, a retired general can have an opinion, and we respect that. But ultimately, what the DGMO says, what General Chauhan says, that is the word of, that is the rule of what will stand in the world. These are the people who are right now in the position and their word matters. What Lieutenant General Guy says, that's the rule. What Lieutenant General Rahul K. Singh says, that is the rule. What Bharti Saab says, Air Marshal Bharti says, that's the rule. Right? What General Chauhan says, that is the rule. What Pramod Kumarji says, Admiral Pramod Kumarji says, that's the rule, sir. That is what matters. Everybody else can have opinion, but they can't have that official stamp on that opinion.
Milban Cherian wants to know, is this all somewhere connected to the deep state's military industrial complex, which has its tentacles globally?
Not really, sir, because we have to get over that thing. Again, I'm trying to reiterate one thing which I have been trying to reiterate through multiple platforms. Look, weapons are not sold in the world for money. Weapons are sold for the balance of power. Weapons are sold for your stature. Weapons are sold to show your hammer to the adversary. Weapons are never sold for money. If you look at the American GDP, 0.7% is only weapon exports. What is weapon exports contributing to the American GDP? 0.7%. Do you think 0.7% all these games are played? But weapons will matter, because if you have to balance between India and Pakistan, if you have to balance between Bharat, between Azerbaijan and Armenia, Greece and Turkey. So you give BrahMos to Greece, the Turkey will be literally running for cover. You arm Armenia and these other Azerbaijanis will be going crazy. So weapons help there. It's not about money. It is the power which you get influence and the influence which you get and buy geopolitically through the giving those weapons to your friends. Why are we doing a 10-year defense deal with America? Because we need those weapons. And we are even buying from Russians. Yesterday I talked on the China series about that. What was that? Niga. What was that net which Niga, which Chinese tried to kind of weave as a 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗧 for Iran, and it miserably failed. That is what weapons are for. So it's never for money. It's for the stature and the control in the bigger scheme of things.
Next one, please. Muhammad wants to know, does Bharat treat China with extra respect and deference despite China constantly undermining Indian interests while India is excessively focused on Pakistan?
I think it was a strategic phase of Bharat wherein we were trying to get a lot of things in order. If you look at broadly, we got our FTA with Australia. We're almost getting there with UK. We are almost getting there with European Union. The American trade deal is happening. We have got so many MOUs signed with Argentina, with South Africa, with Trinidad, and all other countries. So when you have to decouple from China, and the world wants to decouple with China, you want to decouple with them. You don't want to go and do it alone. You want to decouple with the tide so that the China kind of collapses under its weight. Now you will see after the SCO meeting, sir, there's a different resilience of Bharat against the China. And yesterday, why I'm happy about the BRICS outcome today, because you said the people who are supporting and who are facilitating and perpetrating terror. So, of course, Pakistan is the epicenter of terror, but who is the other party here? The other party here is People's Republic of China. Why have they what? Why did Field Marshal Asim Munir, failed Field Marshal Asim Munir, had to come and clarify, no, China was not with us? And remember, what did the 𝗔𝗍𝗏 of the Pakistan say? Now, whom do I believe? Do I believe the failed Field Marshal or the 𝗔𝗍𝗏? 𝗔𝗍𝗏 said, yeah, China gave us all the intelligence, China is our friend, and China has been giving us all the intel during Operation Sindoor. 𝗔𝗍𝗏, quote unquote, said this. So where is the ambiguity, sir? Now, because the mission has failed, now everybody कहते हैं ना, चुनाव में कुछ हुआ नहीं, जा मैं तेरी बुआ नहीं. This happened between Bua and Bhatíja after the UP election. चुनाव में कुछ हुआ नहीं, जा मैं तेरी बुआ नहीं. So this is exactly what is happening here.
Next one, please. Shrikant Satarkar wants to know if China can claim Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim can help Pakistan and Bangladesh against India. Why India done nothing against China? Fear?
No, it's a strategy. But how many adversities and what you want to do, that is the onus on the executive. We should not be commenting on that. But I am seeing a definitely change of stance and change of guard against China. How many times have been Wengi literally begging Dr. Jaishankar and wanting to come here and all? We are not giving that. You see the kind of weightage. I will be direct here. The kind of weightage we are giving to Americans, are we giving that to Chinese? So you might have 50 problems with Americans here, idhar udhar, Munir ko khane pe bulaya, whatever. But again, the kind of weightage what America is getting is that getting, even the Russians getting, Israel is getting, is that China is not getting that. We have very good relations with Japan. We have even very good relations with South Korea. And we have a residual relation with North Korea also. But why China has really fallen down the pedestal? Because we know what they are doing. We know what they are up to. And our assessment, and we have been running this series Endgame. A lot of people say China ka end nahi hai. Maine kaha yaar Hindi picture thodi 3 ghante mein khatam kar dunga. And I'm not Pathan. Huh?
This is a mega serial.
And I'm not Pathan. Huh? Neither am I.
In one episode, Xi Jinping will go up the stairs. In the next episode, he will walk down the stairs. That's the whole episode about.
So, we are not that. Na? So we are bringing you tactical information. And what we say on PGurus, just watch the mainstream media next day. They will exactly start talking the right same. Just watch it.
This is the same thing, right? Where we stand is where the line begins. Milban Cherian wants to know, do you think Google and Bill Gates and all the back doors and front doors to the global security and banking systems have?
Look, these people control a lot of things. They have big interests. They have big money. You see, brother, when there's big money on the table, any amount of conspiracy and cooperation is possible. I'm repeating myself. When there's big money on the table, any amount and quantum of conspiracy on cooperation is possible. Even the worst of the enemies can be the best of buddies for one particular mission. So, nothing can be ruled out. Nothing can be done. It's big money on the table. It's hundreds of billions of dollars. It's a lot of money. And if you just look at Elon Musk, what makes him think he's so indispensable is the money in his pocket. Minus that, I don't think man has anything great except the money, and that's the big money bag he is. I'm not talking about his business success and all, but if you talk about politics, what are the achievements of Musk? Who the hell is he when it comes to politics? But because of the money, he is somebody today.
Dilip Chanchani wants to know, is there a difference between Vance and Trump?
There is. Trump is more forward-looking, more transitional, and more direct. Vance looks for the immediate thing. He is not very transitional. He is very diplomatic. That's the difference.
Next one, please. Rajesh Subbaya wants to know, Ram Samitji, what's stopping India from raising Uyghur issue in the international forum, even though it will not make a very big impact? Surely it will irritate them to the core.
Honestly, sir, why should we touch the Uyghur issue? What are we going to get out of it? If we want to raise the issue, we should raise the issue of China helping Pakistan to foment trouble and to support terror. Because Uyghur is a problem of the Ummah. Ummah has to raise it. OIC has to raise it. Shame on them if they are not raising it. They should hang their hand on shame. Why should we bother about Uyghurs? In a way, yeah, as a human aspect, as a humanitarian grounds, we are with them. Even my heart goes out for seeing the atrocities which are being done against them. But it is not India's problem. What are 57 Islamic countries doing? What are they hibernating on? When these meetings happen in Riyadh and Jeddah and all those photographs come, does any of them dare to talk about Uyghurs? Why? These should be talked. This question of yours should be to the honchos of the Islamic world. I'm not in a position to answer. As a patriotic Indian, it's none of our business to me. Diplomatically, why should I get there? I'm not going to get anything out of it.
Thank you so much, Lionel Lobo. And Kalyan Ram Ganti wants to know, Chinese exports to US reported to have fallen 40%, but their overall exports went up by 11%. This is the result of transshipment. Is this leading to further bleeding Chinese economy?
Look, the problem is I've been talking to you on the end game that they have a lot of things which are finished and lying them. I gave you an example. Let's say I'm making those, for example, just for example, I'm not literally, Dockers pets. Now they were made in China. Now suddenly there's a tariff and my American buyer says, look buddy, I can't pay 145% duty. I'm not going to buy it. So what will I do? My cost of manufacturing is $10. And America sells for $100. The buyer says, if I import it at $245, how the hell I'm going to sell it? But buddy, sorry, I can't buy it. So what do? I look for all the markets in the world where the Dockers is sold. It's an original thing. It's a very fantastic product. Like original, I made for the OEM. I'll say, okay, in your country it sells for 80, I'm giving you for 50. In your country it sells for 70, I'm giving you for 35 because my cost is 10. That is how China, I had been predicting this, that is how China is going to dump a lot of finished and semi-finished, even branded goods into the lot of countries in the world. And secondly, you can't trust Chinese numbers. And by the grace of God, when we signed this trade deal by 2030, sir, their exports to America will fall by 89%. I'm waiting for that day to celebrate. Because more
Thank
India
you so much, Miji. There may be some questions from our app. Can you please check if there are any questions from our app? Because there may be one or two. I thought I saw some. In the meantime, please, let's get the Ashirwad from Mahadev and then we can continue if there are any questions from the app.
I would request all our brothers and sisters across the world, kindly like, share and subscribe. Press the bell icon, press all notifications. Don't do this personalize and all. Press all so that you keep on getting notification. That it's your call to look, watch the video or not. Maybe you can watch it and to do a playlist and watch at a later time when you're driving and all. And kindly put our videos on your WhatsApp groups. That helps us a lot. On that note, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Om Namah Parvati Pataya, Har 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 Mahadev.